Whispers of the forgotten. The road to Marrow's End was overgrown, barely more than a path now, rutted and clawed by creeping vines as if the forest had tried to reclaim it in his absence. As the car crept through the last stretch of broken gravel and shadowed trees, Elliot Hayes felt the first stirrings of a memory he'd spent years trying to drown in city noise. He hadn't seen the town in 17 years, not since his mother's funeral, the last link to a place he'd once called home. In that time, Marrow's End had become a ghost in his mind, a blur of gray skies and half-remembered lullabies, stitched together with guilt and something more elusive, a silence that had never left him. Now the silence pressed in again, thick and expectant as his tires crunched to a halt before the old house. It looked almost the same. Peeling white paint, bowed porch steps, shutters hanging at lazy angles. But it wasn't age that unsettled him, it was how untouched everything was. As if someone had been waiting. "You're really back," came a voice from behind the lilac bushes. Elliot turned quickly, startled. A woman emerged, older than he remembered but unmistakably Nina, his childhood friend, once daring, defiant and always barefoot in the summer. Now she wore a long gray cardigan, and her eyes held a depth he'd never seen in them before. "Nina?" he asked. "You were gone so long," she said softly. "But this place, it remembers." Elliot didn't come for nostalgia. He came for the deed, the paperwork to sell what he could and never look back. Yet each room in the house breathed with memories. The hum of his mother's lullabies still seemed to linger in the wallpaper. Dust motes danced in sunbeams like the ghosts of afternoons past. Nina stayed longer than she should have that first evening, offering stories of the town. Her voice was measured, her presence grounding. But there was something else, something unsaid, in the way she avoided certain questions. "Strange things happen here," she said over tea, eyes flickering to the window. "Not bad, just strange. The past has roots in this town. Deep ones." Elliot laughed uneasily. "That sounds like something you say to keep tourists away." But as the days passed, he began to feel it too. The floorboards creaked where no weight pressed them. His mother's record player clicked on at dusk, always the same song, "I'll Be Seeing You." Once he found a sketchbook under the bed, his own from when he was 12, but the last few pages were filled with drawings he didn't remember making. The house, the woods, and a figure with no face standing at the edge of the clearing. He confronted Nina. "You've been coming here, haven't you? Before I got back." She nodded. "After your mother died. I didn't want the place to forget her. Or you." Elliot sat heavily on the porch steps. "I wanted to be forgotten." Nina looked at him sadly. "Some places don't let go that easily." On the 7th night the dreams began. Elliot wandered the house in pitch black, hearing whispers through the walls, his own voice as a child calling out. Then other voices, older, layered like the echoes of lives lived and left behind. He woke with his hands smeared in charcoal, the same faceless figure etched across the windows in looping strokes. Convinced he was losing it, Elliot packed a bag and told Nina he was leaving. That night a storm rolled in. The power flickered and Elliot found himself in the attic, the one place he'd avoided. His mother had always told him it was unsafe. But now something drew him there. The attic was filled with old trunks and mildewed furniture. Near the window stood an easel. On it a half-finished canvas. The woods behind the house, dark and inviting, and the same faceless figure standing at the threshold. A wind tore through the attic, though the window was shut. And then, faint but unmistakable, a voice behind him. "You left us." Elliot spun, heart racing, but the attic was empty. Yet the easel now bore a new line of paint, a fresh stroke, dripping. He staggered back, breath caught in his throat. From below he heard Nina's voice calling his name in panic. He bolted down the stairs to find the front door wide open, rain lashing the porch. Nina stood in the yard, eyes fixed on the tree line. "There's something in the woods," she whispered. "It came back with you." They stood at the edge of the forest, flashlight beams cutting through the rain. "I used to come here with my mother," Elliot said. "She'd bring me when the dreams got bad. Said the woods would listen." Nina nodded. "Your mother believed this place had a memory. That it kept things." "What did it keep from me?" he asked. She hesitated. "When your father left, you stopped speaking. For months. Your mother said part of you stayed behind, buried in the roots. She was always trying to protect it. Even after you forgot." They stepped deeper into the trees. The woods pulsed with energy, leaves whispering secrets, branches reaching like arms. They found the clearing from Elliot's sketchbook. There in the center stood a single stone marker, simple, weathered, unmarked. Elliot dropped to his knees. I don't remember this. You weren't supposed to, Nina said gently. Your mother told me. He had a twin. He died in the woods. You wandered after him and were lost for hours. When they found you, you'd gone silent. Your mother made the town promise not to speak of it. She said if you forgot, maybe it would hurt less. Elliot touched the stone. Rainwater slicked its surface like tears. I left him here, he whispered. And he waited. And then from the woods a small voice. Elliot. He turned. A boy stood at the edge of the trees, mud-streaked, solemn-eyed, and identical to the face in Elliot's childhood photos. Not a ghost, not quite real. A memory made flesh. Come home, the boy said. When Elliot awoke, the storm had passed. He sat beneath the trees, the stone cold against his palm. Nina was beside him, her hand resting over his. It let you remember, she said softly. He nodded. And now I know why I couldn't stay away. Back at the house, the air was different, lighter, warmer. The record player was silent. The whispers had stopped. He no longer felt like a visitor in a stranger's life. Elliot stayed. He rebuilt the porch steps, repainted the shutters. Nina brought tea and stories, and together they walked the path to the woods every Sunday, to sit by the marker and speak the name no one else remembered. In time, the townsfolk stopped calling him a stranger. Children waved at him from bicycles. The house bloomed with life again. He came back to sell the past. Instead, he found what he had lost. And far beneath the roots, where the forgotten once waited, the woods whispered no more.